Well, I finally did it. I found some rear latch assemblies at the junkyard, 2 of them. It had been a long time before they finally got some in. And I took them off, but it's been a long time since I've gotten them. And so I'm thinking now I'm going to go ahead and do it. I have some time. But here's a good one. Just wanted to show you that. There's the tab. Nice and strong now, but we'll see how long it lasts. And what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go ahead and drill a hole through my cover and attach the shoestring to that lever again, and keep it as a backup. I don't mind if I have a little shoestring hanging in the back of my car if it's going to mean when that piece breaks, if it's going to mean I'll be able to get back in. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to drill in that spot right there I showed earlier in the other video. That little square, I'm going to drill a hole right through it, like this, and attach it to this lever. I'm going to have to be careful. Well, we'll see how that comes close to the spring, if that spring's going to be in the way, but I'll give it a try. And I'm going to tie another shoelace to it. They're pretty strong, so might be a good thing to use. I'm going to drill a hole in here first. First I'm going to mark where I want to drill. Right on that little square. I'm going to punch it with this little device to put a little indentation in it, and then I'm going to drill a small hole with a small drill bit, and then a larger drill bit. This is a 3/16 inch to follow that, so it's going to be big enough for the shoestring. Okay, that should work. A couple of things I wanted to point out that might be helpful is one of the hard things to do is to get this piece out from right here under the seat belt. If that's out of the way, you're going to be able to take off the mechanism easier. So one thing you could do is move your seat belt out of the way temporarily, stick it over the headrest, and this piece right here it's all the way down and it's just a little cover, but it's really hard to get off. Of course I broke my other one, but I found that if you get a screwdriver and put it behind it and pry towards this way, you can disengage the little locks, and then you can push the cover up. See, on the back of this thing we've got some little hooks. And if you take your screwdriver and push it away, you might be able to get it off those hooks, and then you can pull it up. And then you're reinserting it. Whoops, see, I just broke it. Yeah, but anyway, maybe you won't break yours. But it's down there. You have to get your screwdriver and pry behind it while you're trying to push it up. Once it gets past those hooks, you might be able to get it up. Have fun with that. Yeah, have fun with that. I broke my other one, and now this one is broke. But when I put it all back together, it's like it's not really important stuff, a cover. Okay, but once that is out of the way, then you're going to be able to get your lock assembly off easier. And I've got the seat belt out of the way. So you're going to want to pull the seat forward to get to it, and hopefully you can open it. Hopefully you should already know how to pull the seats down. I'm going to release this send it forward. I'm going to move the headrest forward by pulling the strap. And I'm going to engage my lock. Hopefully you can get yours open. Take off this top screw. And these 3 screws, all 3 are Torx 25. The 3 on the side are self-tapping type of screws. The 1 on the top and the straight one. After you get all 4 screws out, you might want to get this start down here on the bottom, and there's a clip that's holding it. If you put your screwdriver down there and begin to pry it out, be careful not to do it too much, too forcefully. Then the bottom will come out. And once you have the bottom out, it should start coming out, up and out. Just lift it up and then slowly pull it out from up top here. It's sliding under here. So be careful about this little tab. It slides in under here. Pull it on out. If you're using the shoestring method, go ahead and tie it onto this top bracket and pull it down a little bit so it has enough room to go into the switch. You need a little space up here for the switch to fall in place. Once you have that tied on, and you can pull it through your cover, and then begin to reattach. And in reverse order, go ahead and get this little tab in, and work your seat belt around this. Get your seat belt going. Before we put our panel down, look at how your lock is. Right now it's in the open position. So you would have to put your cover down with the switch in the open position. But that's going to be too hard to hold that. So I'm going to go ahead and disengage our lock by pushing the white tab forward. Now we're in the locked position. And now when I put my cover on, we're in the locked position. So that this little arm is going to fall into place where it should. Okay, something I'm going to do is, now that I've got the top in, I'm going to go ahead and insert that screw in there so it will hold the top in place while I'm fitting the bottom back in. So I'm going to put the screw back in there. Okay, I've got my screw in. The cover is underneath here as it's supposed to be. And now I can come down and start fitting my bottom part in. And of course what we're going to need to do is make sure our upholstery is right. The cover is going to fit where it's supposed to. It's going to go around the upholstery like it's supposed to. And then we've got to start maneuvering our little tab there on the bottom. That's the important part of our puzzle that we need to work on. Okay, hopefully you can see that my tab is going back down here on the bottom where it should be. And now I can push the cover back in and it should line up with the 3 holes. I've got my tab back in, it's pushed in tight, my holes are lined up, I've already got my screw in started at the top. I'm going to go ahead and put those screws all the way in. The cover is around the upholstery and everything is like it should be. Okay, it didn't work so well, so I took it apart and did it again. This time when I put the cover on, I made sure it was in the unlocked position. Held the switch up, made sure my locks down here were out of the way, and then I put my cover back on and put all the screws in. And to check it, we're going to hit our white tab. The lock's engaged. The switch is back in its original position. Going to squeeze the lock. The locks came up, and your safety indicator is up. So we know that's working. locked back up. Now we'll see if our shoestring mechanism is going to work. We pull, and it does open. It stays. If it's not opening, you might have to help the switch a little bit, because that shoestring might be in the travel of this little safety part aspect. So you might have to help the handle a little bit to get this out of the way. But this way we have two ways of opening the back seat. The factory way is with the switch, but if that ever breaks, if you have your shoestring back up, hooked up, then if your switch breaks, you've got your shoestring mechanism that will still help you to unlock your back seat. Once installed in the car, you can hardly tell the shoestring mechanism is tucked out of the way, both sides. Can hardly even tell it's there, but you'll be glad it is if your switch ever breaks again. I think I will. As far as those broken tabs that were underneath the seatbelt, well, I don't have them, and it seems to be okay. Although my seatbelt got locked in there and it broke the button. So I don't know if that missing plastic was important to keep my belt from going too far in. It could have been. So anyway, I'm going to have to sew on a button on both sides of this spot on the seat belt so that my seat belt won't retract too far in. And bead factory, both sides. They're both kind of on this side. I sewed a button on this on both sides, and it seems to be working. And here's another one. This one is broken too, so I'm going to have to replace that button also. Just some needle and thread. I think they sell those little tabs, so if you wanted to buy some, that would be the best. And maybe I'll look into it. But if not, I'm gonna sew some buttons on it. Okay, that's it. Have a good one.